of the pie. So we pack our bags and run. Said we pack our bags and run. Trying to walk on the wire. Cause there's nothing we cannot overcome. Nothing we cannot overcome. They don't realize. They don't realize. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Cause it's our time. Our time to fly. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Cause it's our time. Our time to fly. They're not gonna take us alive. They must not know how we do. They sure don't know how we do. Cause we're gonna fight to survive. They will not knock us off our groove. They will not knock us off our groove. They don't realize. They don't realize. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Cause it's our time. Our time to fly. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Cause it's our time. Our time to fly. They'll see with their own eyes. It will come as no surprise. We'll climb the rock most high. It's time for new chapters to fill the pages of love, life, and laughter. I pack my bag, look ahead into the light, and I'm ready to take that flight, huh? I admit it in my heart, I feel a little fear. I'm racing towards my destiny. I gotta keep my conscience clear. The blue skies got a star I should be standing on. It's my turn, and I'm ready to take the world on. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Rule the world. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. Cause it's our time. Our time to fly. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. It's our time. Time to fly.
It's our time to fly. It's our time to say. You don't need a reason why.
Let's make a change.
We gon' rule the world.
Yeah. All right, guys. Can you all hear me tonight? Listen, it's your girl Anaya A, and we are live here. I see several people watching on this beautiful platform. Share with a friend because tonight it's going down. If you can't see me like in your face, that means you're joining us on Instagram, and I want you guys to join us on Facebook. That's Anaya A period on Facebook, because we have a very special guest tonight, and we literally want you guys to see what's about to go down. We have with us tonight Mr. Keon Harrell Sr., the young man, the man behind the whole entire, I don't even want to say, the whole entire issues that's going on right now with these new Arlo Karens, with these new Soho Karens that are out here doing some reckless stuff in our communities to our Black young men. And before I welcome him, I wanted to play a little bit about why Mr. Keon is so special in our eyes. And with that being said, I'm going to play a little snippet and then we are going to welcome him on in just a moment. I want you guys to stay tuned, share with as many people as possible, because Mr. Keon Harrell Sr. is live with your girl Anaya A, and he is about to enter the room with your girl Anaya A. But I wanted to play a little snippet of him playing and doing what he does best, so that you guys can understand why the situation is so tumultuous, why it's stressing us out in the community. And we want you guys to understand that Mr. Keon is here with us tonight. So I thought this was the right clip of him playing, but I'm gonna try to find that. And I want you guys to stick with us on the Anaya A Show, and we're gonna see if him playing his trumpet comes on. Let's see. I believe this may be a great clip.
The way I got to New York City was being inspired by the fire of the music here. A place where Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, and Miles Davis, everybody.
Mr. Keon Harrell Sr. is with us.
One of the coolest of the cool.
And we found a great clip.
Really inspired greatness. My name is Keon Harrell. I play the trumpet, and music is my passion.
There he goes. Tell a friend, ladies and gentlemen.
Into music from a very, very early age. Interesting enough, me being from St. Louis, the connection to Miles Davis is very, very close. One day, my mother went to this discount shop and found a Miles Davis record and brought it home to me because I was really trying to play the trumpet. I love the trumpet. From that moment, Miles has been kind of a huge inspiration. I was honored to get the call to work on the Miles Ahead film. They wanted to get a trumpet player who could basically stand on Miles' shoulder, and they called me. It was an amazing experience. This is a classic. This is a relic. I mean, as a trumpet player holding this horn, this is amazing.
Woo!
Knowing the history of Miles has been very, very detail-oriented. I can imagine he designed this totally himself. I mean, he was a visual artist as well. The layout of this is so beautiful. The moon, the stars. Just looking at the design is just flawless. As a musician, he is the epitome of what I want to be. Miles is very, very right in your face. You gotta listen to me. Miles Davis is like the soundscape of what jazz is. If I want somebody to listen to jazz or learn about jazz, Miles Davis is the perfect person because he covered pretty much every aspect of the music. Definitely one of the greatest musicians of all time.
Oh my God, that was so beautiful. Welcome, 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 sir. Thank you so much. Welcome, Mr. Keon. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing all right,
Trying to hold on and be strong, right?
Indeed, 100%. That's, you know, God wasn't putting anything on us that we couldn't handle.
Amen. Amen. First of all, I want to thank you again for even joining with us this evening. And as I get out of one screen and reconnect with another screen here, you know, with social media now, we have to do everything on this platform. I hope I got it right, though. I just, again, want to thank you. And please reintroduce yourself to the people. They're probably wondering, Anaya, why are you sharing this brother playing this trumpet live? For those that didn't get the memo, tell the people who you are.
My name is Keon Harrell. I'm a trumpeter, a composer, music producer, and an educator, and an activist as well. So, you know, from St. Louis, Missouri, AKA Ferguson.
Ferguson.
And, yes, indeed. And I'm just here, you know, here to talk to the people and here to just share a little bit about myself and, you know, the current story that I'm dealing with.
That's right. That's right. And first of all, like for you to even be sharing your story and coming out here and joining us is such a pleasure. The reason I wanted to do this story in particular was not just because of what's happening in the present society we're in, not just because of your story, but because you are a phenomenal father. You are known like now, like worldwide as Papa Bear. You are the person that stepped in between a mad woman and your child. And Mr. Keon, everybody wants to talk about all the issues we have going on, but we know those issues already. I want to know about you and what makes you so special as a father and as a musician.
I'll start with saying, um, I grew up with great parents. Parents that, both of my parents were in the ministry. My mother was a missionary and a pastor, and my dad was a pastor, or is a pastor. And one of the biggest things they did was taught us how to love each other. All of my siblings, all of my, you know, all of our siblings, all of our cousins were like our siblings, and our friends, again, we all treated them all as siblings. So it was one happy family. So basically the idea of agape love was from the beginning as to how we treated each other. And, you know, it was about looking out for each other, looking out for your little brother, for your big brother, and just being there and just being a great person. Character was everything and is everything. You know, because what are you without your family? Who are you if you can't go home to somebody? Or if you know, if you're not welcomed home.
Right.
You know, it has a lot to do with character and what's been put in you. I feel like my family and my parents especially invested in me heavily, and you know, built up my confidence and told me that I was, you know, that I could do the impossible. Even if I couldn't, they would let me know and make me feel like, you know, I could do it if I put in the work. And that's something that I try to instill in my son, that you can do anything if you're willing to put in the work, you know. You know, because in the idea that, you know, you can believe anything, but if you don't put work into it, it's going to be nothing. You know, it's an investment. My dad showed me that, you know, faith without works is dead.
I was
Period.
just thinking that. Like, did you grow up with that whole notion, faith without works is dead?
Absolutely. And, you know, it's the kind of thing that just keeps me going. And if you want to see, you know, you want to see results, you're going to have to put in that work. There's no accident, you know, even though some things aren't planned, but it's the work that you've been doing behind the scenes that sometimes will show up. People will see the tip of the iceberg,
Yes.
and they don't really recognize all the work that's been going on, you know, concurrently. So I was raised that way, and as a father, I'm instilling those same kind of values, that same kind of thought process, that same kind of belief that, you know, you can be anybody you want. You can take on anything you want to take on if you believe and if you do the work. You know, it's not going to happen by osmosis. You got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what you got to do. And tell us, is music something that runs in your family, in your bloodline? Because in the ministry, I find a lot of our, and I hate to sound cliche, but a lot of our Black young people that grew up in the ministry, they know how to play them drums. They know how to play a piano, an organ, or something. So were you thrown into this, or is it a natural gift?
Uh, I mean, I was it's natural, but it was a family thing. I started off very, very early, as with all of my siblings. My grandfather started the drum and bugle corps, which taught a lot of different people how to play instruments, and, you know, drums, horns, and so we did that for our entire life. And all of my siblings had to learn how to play instruments. It was just something that we did. I started taking it really seriously, but it was a family thing. All of my siblings can sing or play instruments and write songs and sing songs or minister as well. So it definitely does run heavily in my family.
Amen. And when I think about who you are today and some of the things that have transpired recently, I just wanted you to come on and take away from all the negativities in the world, right? And let's try to focus on some of the positive things that we can share with our Black men. Everybody has heard your story nationwide, overseas. I had people hitting me up from Switzerland. I have family in Switzerland. I have family in Japan. My family's all interracial. We're like the United Nations. And so I just wanted you to really, and I know when you said, like, I think your trumpet has taken you all over the world and you have traveled all over the world because of your talent. That was so beautiful when you said that. I just really wanted you to come on here and motivate these Black men that may be having issues in 2021, seeing their children, motivating their children, trying to be the best father they can, because we know all the crap that's going on with Soho Karen, like Attorney Crump likes to call her, no mo Soho, no mo Arlo. But let's talk about, right? Let's talk about how you can motivate these men. I have over 5,000 friends on social media. I have all 5 of my Instagram platforms on presently, and the people are listening, and YouTube is listening as well. So how can we motivate our Black men to be the best fathers they can be and mimic somebody like yourself?
First of all, I want to say what's up to everybody out there. Again, my name is Keon Harold. I am a product of love. And, if you can become a product of love and realize that we're made from love and that we are built on love, we can start to give love. And as a father, our job is to show people the way. And following God is the easiest way, because that's the only way. And the minute you start walking in that way, everything starts to happen and everything starts to open up. The things that are closed in your life, the things that are closed, or the boulder that might be in your path, it can be removed. And a lot of that is built on faith. So my journey as a father is definitely, most certainly a faith walk. It's a journey every day.
Every day.
The year 2020 has been one of the most difficult years for not just myself, but for everybody. I imagine many of you out there that, everything that you would try to do somehow ends up being foiled. Somehow it ends up being, just different than the way you imagine it, whether it be a relationship, whether that be a job scenario, whether that be, a profession or a guaranteed scenario that you had worked out. But something happened that it just didn't work out. But today is the day that we say, you know what, let's get back on track. Let's get back focused. Let's know that we've gone through this thing to be a blessing to somebody else. Yeah. The story that we have is not just meant for us. It's meant for somebody else's faith to grow. For me, I am going through one of the toughest times in my life right now. But at the same time, I will fear no evil, period. I'll fear no evil that could come and try to stop me from doing what it is that I want to do. Because there's a message that needs to be had. And the message is that we're going to make it, that we're going to be all right, that our family's going to be all right, that our children, our seeds, we're going to be great lights. We're going to be great fathers, and the relationships that weren't 100% before, the ones that are important are going to stay important. And the ones that were detrimental to who we are, that was detrimental to our journey, are going to be put out the way. And, you know, God has a way of doing that. And that has, you know, as much as we try to control certain things, I think the idea, kind of change the subject just a little bit, the idea of being a father is almost being like a boat.
It's your show. Change the
Absolutely.
topic. Do what you want. It's all about you.
Yes, indeed. The idea of a father, I feel like, is basically a boat in a boat in an ocean, or a boat on a sea. You can be the captain and you can row, but at the same time, you realize that that ocean can take you wherever. And if a storm comes, it can sway you. It can sway you and sway you. But as a father, our job is to basically stay there, and be ready, you know. And if it's swaying you, you know, be ready to go with that. You know, don't, you know, the idea of fear, you can get rid of the idea of fear. You gotta man that ship with confidence and faith, and just know that, you know what, if I can just make it through in time, we're gonna be all right. You know, Kendrick Lamar says we're gonna be all right. And, you know, God says we're gonna be all right. In spite of everything that's going on, we're gonna be all right, and we're gonna get through this. You know, God doesn't put us in anything that we can't handle. We said that before, but that is a fact. And I feel like that's a theme of what this is. Right now, you know, I'm going through one of the fights of my life. And that had to do with protecting my son.
That's right.
By any means necessary, because the enemy will come and we'll try to take you out. We'll try to distract you, and we'll try to distract you and try to keep you away from your glory, try to keep you away from your inheritance, try to keep you away from your the gift that God has for you. But if we can just stand strong, sometimes it's about not reacting.
Yes.
Sometimes it's about not reacting. Sometimes if you can just stay solid. Again, being the captain, being on the boat. Sometimes you just got to just stay and wait it out. Wait that storm out, and in time, you'll see that you'll stand, because you didn't spend all your energy trying to fight a battle that wasn't yours to fight. It was God's fight. So you just got to let God do what he do. Let him do what he do, and you will be all right. You'll be able to stand at the end. Donnie McClurkin says, just stand.
Just stand. You know, as you're speaking, if I may, three things just came to me. Jonah, with the story of him going into the belly of the whale. As a minister, I actually studied the Bible, and I have a thing in ministry as well. I'm a minister with my church and stuff, but either way, God called me, and I was like the first Christian in my entire family on both sides. That's a long story. But when I read the Bible, and I'm so glad you're a man of the cloth, you are somebody of the word. And I think that's where that connection came from the minute I met you. I was like, there's something so different about you. You're so peaceful in the midst of this storm. This brother here, for those that don't know, he's been through it within the past few weeks, but you have this presence about you that literally says, I'm here, it's gonna work out. And when you were speaking about being the captain, everybody reads these Bible verses, in my opinion, and they read the most, you know, whatever popular parts. The part of that story and what you just shared is what I go to every time. Jonah wouldn't have been Jonah and done what God called him to do had the captain of that boat not thrown Jonah off the boat. I don't know if you know that or not. See, what happens is, and this is so important for so many of us tonight to watch and listen, because we have a ton of comments, which I can't get into tonight. I'm sorry for all the comments that are coming through. I'll read them after he gets off, because he's only here with us for a short amount of time. But I wanted to share this because I think we need to get back to our spiritual side as a Black people, as a people from God initially. When Jonah got on that boat, the captain, being the captain, knew that there was something wrong with his boat. People fail to remember that it was the captain that searched that boat and realized that something was going on that was amiss. And when the captain went down, he found Jonah. And he was like, my dude, in my translation, because you know I'm a little ghetto with it. My son, my son, you are on my ship and you don't need to be here. And I'm going to need you to get off. And he's the one who threw Jonah off to go into the whale of the belly of the whale or whatever. And people fail to read that little part. And when I read that part for the first time as an adult, I got it. And what people have to understand is your peace can be disturbed in a multitude of ways. But when God is in the midst, it doesn't matter what's going on. If you know what you know, that you know, that you know, God is going to take care of it. Because God has us on a mission, amen? And when you started talking about the captain, I recall that and it came back to me because there's sometimes in my life where I'm like, Lord, everything is a mess. I'm going crazy. What's happening? You promised this to me. He promises stuff, but he doesn't tell us how we're going to get there. And
you got to believe all the way through it. You got to believe all the way through it.
Got to go through it. Got to go through it.
And the biggest part is the test, realizing that the test is about trust.
Trusting God. Because Jonah had to get off that boat and do what God said, because God already preordained. Come on here, I'm about to preach. Amen. God already preordained Jonah on a mission to Nineveh. And he thought it was too hard. See, God must have promised you something, man of God, because I'm going to now say you are a minister, amen, because you got the word. He must have promised you something way long. It might have been in your dreams. It might have been in your visions. And you're probably like, God, how is this possible? And then he's like, I'm sending a Karen in Soho and I'm going to get you. And I'm going to get you on that track. Come on, somebody. And for anybody else that's watching tonight or that will watch, understand that tonight is bigger than this particular story. It's about a mission. It's about trusting God, and it's about being still. I think about the tree that stands in that water. Sometimes we think that thing is not going to bear anything. I'm pretty sure people have been in your life like, Keon what? Keon this, whatever. And now look at Keon doing what God has called him to do. And the third thing, real quick, I recall, is the father aspect. And when Reverend Al Sharpton spoke, I don't know if you know, but I was boohoo crying during this whole entire press conference because I know Reverend Al Sharpton's story. And I know how his father left him hanging. It's all in his books. And he talks about that with us. I'm with him every Saturday, praise God, and throughout the week sometimes. And when Reverend speaks about his father abandoning the family, and he looked to you, Mr. Keon, I don't know if you remember that moment, like a couple of weeks ago, and he looked to you and he said, before he got contacted, he thought about, and I may get emotional, how his father never took him anywhere.
Wow.
And here you were, my God. And this is why I do what I do, because I listen and I absorb, and then I try to share this platform with other people, because sometimes they don't have access to the Keon Harrells. They don't have access to the Reverend Al Sharptons. But when I stand with Rev and I hear his pain of what he went through, and then when he looked at you, Keon, I was like, that is love. That is that agape love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I'm so inspired by Rev, so inspired by Attorney Crump. And just, you know, again, God will put you amongst people that you had no idea that you'd end up in. If you just continue to walk and believe and know that where you are right now is not your end result.
Yes.
What you got to do is continue to walk in faith, continue to walk and trust. Learn how to trust, because sometimes the pain that we've been under, especially as Black men, the pain that we have been under, and just that, you know, that film of not understanding what's going on, the film of not having enough, the film of not being understood, the film of not being heard is all on us. But the minute we can say, you know what, in spite of all of that thing, in spite of all of those things, if I just trust and know, keep my head up and continue to believe that in time, it's going to work out. Period. It's going to work out. You know why? Because we're not here for nothing. We all have a purpose, a strong purpose, as fathers, as great men. So I'm sending love and prayer to every man that's watching this show. Yes. Every father that's watching this. I'm praying for increase in finance. I'm praying for increase in network. I'm praying for increase in understanding. I'm praying for increase in whatever it is that you need. I'm praying for increase in closeness in relationships. I'm praying for increase in just the idea of you being okay with you.
Yes.
Because sometimes we have an issue with just being okay with ourselves, and we have an issue with just not being enough.
Preach.
So at this point, I'm praying that you have confidence and comfort in the fact that you are enough, that you just have to know that like the pilot on the ship, that you know what? Just keep going. Storms come, the water gets deep, the water gets shallow, the water, sometimes you get off course, but guess what? God has a way to pull you back in, and all you got to do is what? Continue to trust. Continue to trust. Whenever you have a problem, whenever things ain't working right, whenever things ain't going your way, whenever it seems like you can't get your way, whenever it seems like you're not enough, yet again, just know that in time it's going to be fine.
In time, it's gonna be fine. Not only is he a musician, a father, a leader, an activist, but he's a rhymist as well, if that's even a word, because he be spitting them rhymes. But you know what? I know you have to go, and I'm so thankful for this time. I have to shout out a couple of people, if that's okay. I wasn't able to get to my comments tonight, but I want to shout out my father. We have a broken relationship, and as I speak with you, I pray that he understands me a little bit more, and he will watch you being the father that you are, and maybe he will gain some understanding. Pops, I'm a whole Haitian, so Papi, got it next out, okay? Now that's one. And then two, Mommy Valerie is watching in New Jersey. So is Sister Aisha Wilson. They are the ones that reminded me about the first press conference. He's waving to you all tonight. I want to shout out Reverend Al Sharpton, Attorney Ben Crump, all of my National Action Network family, and for all of those that are involved with bringing this whole case to light. Kat, and oh, real quick, somebody tagged me in our pictures named Scott Nyland. I didn't know who that guy was. Do you know who he is?
I'm not sure.
He said he worked with Caddy for years, and he tagged me.
Okay, it's probably one of her friends.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that's so dope. But you know what? It's that AI, because that facial recognition just happens. He didn't know who I was. I didn't know who he was. But shout outs to the mother of Mr. Keon Harold Jr., Miss Kat, aka Caddy Rodriguez, and your entire family. And you know what? Your parents did an amazing job. So shout outs to the ministers that brought you up, and anybody else I left out, you already know, my parents, my family. Listen, guys, we have to love each other more in 2021. Do you have a closing Bible verse, or maybe a scripture or a song or something that you want to?
Absolutely. I'll leave you. I mean, since we're, this is pretty spiritual. I'll leave you with 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. One of the biggest things that's going on with me right now is, and my son, and just the idea of the battle that I'm fighting right now is one of that many Black people struggle with, that we don't have either the resources to deal with, or we just don't know that we should deal with it, or right. There's a stigma that says, you know what, you shouldn't deal with it, and that is mental health. So this is about the idea of God leaving us not leaving us
Yes.
without a sound mind. So if we just believe and we do the work, and we take one step at a time. A trip of 1,000 miles starts with one step. We say, okay, I'm gonna start here, but I realize that I'm gonna end somewhere else, and I'm gonna be able to help somebody else after I deal with what I need to deal with. So again, 2 Timothy 1:7, for God has not given us a spirit of fear. Many people want us to be scared. They want us to be scared, whether that be law enforcement, whether that be management, whether that be, the workplace, whether that be just going to the store. People want you to fear them. But you know what? That's not of God. So
that's not of God.
You can cast that into the nearest trash can. All of the idea of the fear. But God will leave us with power. That means we can do things. We do have the rights. We do have the right to exercise our rights, and of love, and love, whether that be over our family, over our spouses, and over our friends, or just over what it is that we love, and a sound mind that we can think clearly, and we can see the future, and we can see the past, and with a clear mind, and we can see our passions, and we can actually make our passions happen. We can actually make our dreams happen if we continue to move without fear. We can do that. And as fathers, we should do that. And we should know that, guess what? God doesn't give us a spirit of fear. We're going to make it through. In my situation, if anybody has seen the video from the Arlo Hotel, they wanted me to be scared. They wanted me to fear. But no way. God hasn't given me a spirit of fear, but of a sound mind and of power. So that's the reason why we are where we are. That's the reason why we're talking today. That God has given us power and given us clarity that we're more than conquerors.
You are so phenomenal, and I want people to understand that I typically do not do this, but when I say you are amazing as a Black man, as a father, you know the word and you break it down in such a way. Hats off to you. Chapeau bas pour toi. And that means hats off to you in my language, as a Haitian American. And I feel like our Haitian community needs to also know that you are out here. And pour tout le monde, I'm just going to say this real quick in Creole too, for those that may not understand English, because I want more Haitians to watch and know. Pour tout le monde qui a gardé nous à soin, moi vle nous tande nèg sa qui est Keon Harold Sr. C'est un nèg ou moun qui a un pile espoir, un pile vitalité pour vivre, et puis la changer. Ça nous pense de papa dans la communauté nous. Comme nèg noir, comme moun noir, camper avec lui, là avec nous. Mes amis, bon bagay. I just said, stand up with you. You're amazing. God bless you. And you are our new leader in our community. Please join us at National Action Network when you get a chance. I'm pretty sure Goldie would love to sign you up as a new member if you're not already a member. Shout outs to Lisa Harps and the entire team. Oh, and the Nan Youth Huddle. I have to shout them out because you met Ashley the other day and Mama Gwen, but we would love to have you if, whenever you get a chance.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just want to say before I cut out,
yes, sir.
I just want to make sure everybody has, please, you can help me out by signing our petition. And it's really easy to do. You can just text the word Keon, that's my name, Keyon, to 55156. Text Keon, Keyon, to 55156. And that will allow you to sign our petition and stand with us against the Arlo Hotel for allowing racial profiling to happen. And at this point in 2021, we are shooting down the idea of racial profiling, because we all belong here and we all have a say and we all have power, and we should all just be respected as human beings. Not even a black and white thing, but the idea that we are humans and we should all be able to possess the land that God has given us.
Remind me, what do we text? 55?
55156.
156.
Yes. So
Keon.
text Keon, the word Keon, to 55156.
To sign the
And
petition.
yes, the petition is through Color of Change.
Ah, yes. I remember
Yes.
that. Now, is that also found on social media? Because I think
Yes.
there's a...
Yes, my social media is my name, Keyon, Keyon, Harrold, and that's on every platform. That's Twitter. I'm most active on Instagram
Okay.
and Facebook. And if you go to my bio in Instagram, you can also sign the petition. And if you go to my account, you'll see what's going on in my life and the story that is, it affects me, but it affects all of our children.
All of us.
It affects us all in a very, very real way. So, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I know there's a bunch of people that are wanting to comment, but you guys heard where to find him. I just put it on my social media real quick to sign the petition. Text Keyon, Keyon, to 55156 to sign that petition. And you can also go to Color of Change, because I think it's on their social media as well. But I'll be on my, tweet vibe all night, and I will have my community sharing as well. But you guys can find Mr. Keyon Harrold on KeyonHarrold all across the platforms, right? And let you know you watched him live on the Anaya A show, so that we can definitely keep in touch. And how many numbers are we at with the petition, real quick? Because I know we wanted 100,000. Are we close?
I'm not even sure right now. I'm gonna have to check.
Okay. I will do my due diligence and check as well. And I know the attorney, Ben Crump, that's to sign the petitions. So I'll definitely check. Thank you again. God bless you.
Okay.
Blessings.
Thank you so much. God bless. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace. All right, guys. You just heard from the man himself, Mr. Keyon Harrold Sr. And I'm so thankful for this moment, because this brother is leading the way for us Black people in a way that we haven't seen in a very long time. And that's literally through love. That's literally through changing the scope of who we are as a people. And I'm so blessed that we stand with Keyon Harrold Sr., we stand with Keyon Harrold Jr., we stand with the entire family. Mama Brenda's online. I didn't realize everybody that was online tonight. I'm so sorry. I shouted out the National Action Network family, but I just want you guys to know that I'm gonna keep you guys up in prayer as you keep me in prayer. I was not able to see who was online tonight. I was not able to read off any comments because we had him on for just a short period of time. And the reason being is because he has a very busy schedule, guys. So I just want you guys to know I appreciate all the comments that now I'm getting a chance to look at. I apologize, I wasn't able to check them out before. However, I was able to see that a couple people were online live. And I, of course, shouted out Mommy Valerie as well as Sister Aisha, because they were the ones who reminded me about the press conference that, ultimately brought this all together. And then, of course, I had to shout out Reverend Al Sharpton, because without him, hello, we wouldn't really be able to do all of this right now, because that brother has been working hard for the family side by side with the one and only, he calls him. So Reverend Al Sharpton calls Attorney Ben Crump the Attorney General of the Black people, I think. He's so funny. But of course, we just want to shout it out, those beautiful Black men that are standing up with this family. Shouts out to all of you that literally love your family, that's standing together in such a powerful way. And for all of you that are literally wanting to make effective change, but you don't know how to necessarily, just listen to this interview tonight. We're going to replay it a few times, and we're going to definitely share the message that it's all about love, it's all about trust, and it's all about faith. If you didn't get anything else out of tonight's message with Mr. Keyon Harrold Sr., then you should know that it's all about love, it's all about faith, and it's all about trust. I mean, what else can we say? in 2021. You know, he has literally been catapulted into society where he is now the face of being a Black father, a strong Papa Bear father. And I don't know if he was ready for it, but guess what? He's in the fight now. Welcome, Miss Mimi. Mimi's Vision is live with us tonight. Listen, you just missed Mr. Keon Harold Sr., but you can replay this platform and the show or go on my Facebook and you'll be able to check it out on Anaya A period. And then you can also check out YouTube, which we'll be sharing very soon. Listen, guys, I'm not going to be on with you for much longer. I have documents to fill out. I have paperwork to do tonight. I am constantly working around the clock to make my platform better, my brand, better for all of you who are watching and all of you that want to work with your girl Anaya A. I mean, without each other, we have nothing. This brother said so much in such a short time. How can he go wrong? How can we go wrong with this brother? And how can we not stand up with him? How can we not fight with Mr. Keon Harold Sr.? How can we not fight with him? How can we not stand with him and the family? Go to and text on your phone Keyon, Keyon, to 55156 to sign the petition, or you can also go to Color of Change and sign that petition for the Keon Harold story. Let him know Anaya A sent you. If you go and follow him on any of his social media platforms, he has super dope, cool hair. I just love that hair thing. And I have a couple of those things where you put over your head real quick and then, like, you know, your hair sticks out and it's pretty dope, but he does it better than Anaya A. So I like his better than mine because his hair has color. So yeah, he's doing it better than me. Okay. And you can let him know that Anaya says cool freaking hair. I didn't have a chance to discuss the hair thing yet, but the glasses are dope too. I like it. The brother has style, he has pizzazz, and most importantly, he has love in his heart. So shout out again to Mr. Keon Harold Sr. and his beautiful and amazing family who brought him up in the word. I mean, seriously, I had no idea that he was from a family of ministers and people who legitimately know the word and who were grounded in the word. And what he also reminded us tonight is to get back to faith. Get back to God. Get back to your foundation. Yes, Darlene Armstead, God bless you and family. That's the key word, God, in this whole thing. I'm telling you, when I first met him, I wondered why the vibe and the connection was there. So cool to speak to, so amazing, so pretty dope, fresh, and I get it. It's the God factor. If you guys don't have any more questions and concerns, that's okay, because we'll be back on tomorrow night live on the Anaya A Show. If you all want to sponsor a show, want to participate in being a member of the ECI, working towards effective change in our communities, you let your girl Anaya A know as we continue to build our brand. Thank you for standing up with us in solidarity. Thank you for sharing the love, the peace, the harmony that we have in our hearts. And I want to close out with playing some more of Keon's stuff because I feel like it's all about the music tonight and just being joyful. We didn't even really get deep into the case at hand. For those that don't even know who Keon Harold Sr. is, the reason why, and I want to share this with you guys, the reason why we didn't get so deep into the case at hand and what's happening in the media is because you guys can Google that. You can do your homework. It takes 25 seconds for you to Google Keon Harold Sr. and you will hear all about the Soho Karen. You'll also hear about Keon Harold Jr. and all of the issues surrounding this case. I wanted to do this in a different way. And I wanted to show why it's important for Black men to stand up for their children. And I wanted to know psychologically and spiritually, why is this brother so dope boy fresh when it comes to the matter that he's dealing with? And I think we hit it on the head. I think in tonight's show, though it was a short segment, we were able to remotivate some of you, especially you Black men out there, to love your children, to be there for your families and to represent in a way that you may not have had the ability to do before. But we're going to replay the show and we're going to remind you why it's imperative to love and to be there in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the crap that's being thrown at you. You Black men, let me tell you something. You go through hell on earth. You are the most targeted. You have the most issues surrounding your melatonin skin. But I want you to understand that we have a new leader in town, and his name is Keon Harrell Sr., and he broke it down for you. Have faith again. Grow again. Love again. Trust again. Motivate again. Stop hating on each other and do what is right for our people. If it sounds like I'm getting hyped up, and if it sounds like I'm out here like talking loud and acting out, you're right. I am. Because I'm tired of seeing our Black men hurting each other. And all jokes aside, I'm tired of seeing the problems of our society surrounding our people. And what I want you guys to understand is we can and we will overcome, but we have to understand that we're not going to overcome and we're not going to make it if we don't love, if we don't trust, and if we don't have peace. So with that being said, I hope this is a piece that we can play from Mr. Keon, because I want you guys to see him in the light I see him, with the peace in his heart and the trumpet in his hand. Yes, he had to fight. Yes, he had to take that Karen off of his son. But I want you to hear this man play from his heart. Thank you for tuning into the Anaya A Show. Thank you to Mr. Keon. And you're listening to Keon Harrell Sr. as he plays Peace. Have a good night, guys, and see you mañana. Yes, Lord. This is Keon Harrell Sr., Grammy Award-winning trumpet player. Good night, guys. God bless. Woo! I am so excited. Thank you for tuning in to the Anaya A Show. We'll be back.